Have you ever felt stuck in your English conversations, using the same boring words over and over? Well, you're not alone, and it might be holding you back more than you think. You know, this bow tie, it kind of reminds me of how people use English words. Some folks, they use the same tie every day. Sure, it's simple and it's safe, but it's kind of flat, like wearing the same tie to every meeting. It works, sure, but does it really impress anybody? Probably not. So here's a tip. If you find yourself using a word like really or very more than once in a sentence, maybe stop and ask yourself, what's a stronger word that I might use instead? And then try swapping it out. Instead of saying very good, try excellent. Or really tired, say I'm exhausted. It's little small changes like that that make your English sound more confident, more precise, and more professional. So, today, let's untie those lazy words and replace them with something sharper, smarter, and, better choices. And if you have a word that you overuse, drop it in the chat and I'll try to answer a few questions at the end of the show. Maybe we'll help you fix them, right? And stick around for the Mastery Minute too, because we're going to share a surprise idiom that you'll want to see if you can guess it before I reveal it. And of course, if you're enjoying this episode, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this with a friend who wants to level up their English. Now, let's dive right into it. And let me introduce you to Lisa. Lisa is a marketing manager who speaks great English. She really does. But during meetings, she kept using the same words over and over. Good, nice, bad, very, really. Yeah, you get the idea? Well, her manager said, Lisa, your reports are very clear, but they don't sound very persuasive. That's not exactly a great thing for a marketing manager, right? So even though her language was not wrong, her grammar wasn't wrong, but her language lacked energy and precision. So we made one small change. We replaced weak words with stronger, more specific ones. So instead of saying, that's a good idea, she learned to say, that's a brilliant approach, or that's an effective solution. Suddenly, her tone changed and her confidence grew. People started paying attention to her more. That's the power of word choice, and that's exactly what we're going to get into today. Like saying something like, that's a brilliant approach, sure does sound a lot better than that's a good idea, right? Right. So, let's dive into our topic for today. How do we upgrade, right? Here's the truth. Using simple words isn't bad. Matter of fact, I often teach people, use simple words. Use them while you can. But when we rely on them too much, we start to sound unsure, repetitive, or even unprofessional. Think about it. If every idea that you share is described as good or really nice, people just stop paying attention. It's like background noise. Your words begin to lose their edge. So if you're a professional who wants to persuade or lead or inspire confidence, weak language can really hold you back. The words that you choose tell people how serious and capable and confident you are, even before they notice your grammar or your accent or anything like that. Stronger words help you stand out. They help you build your credibility and sound like you truly belong with the conversation. So, today we're going to break this down into 3 easy to fix categories that will help you sound more polished and more powerful right away. Are you ready? All right, get ready, because we're going to have a little quiz at the end of this mastery segment here. 10-minute mastery. Okay. So, number 1 is our first category is common filler words. Okay? So we're going to start with some words that sneak into almost every sentence. They're called filler words. Why do we call them filler words? Well, because they don't add any meaning. They just fill the silence. They just add to the sentence. So the first couple of ones, very and really. Okay, very and really. We hear this a lot. I'm very tired. Well, instead of very tired, you can say I'm exhausted. Or instead of really good, you can say excellent. Okay? Cut those out. Swap them for stronger adjectives. And if you need help finding better options, check out a good thesaurus. They've got some good apps. One of my favorite is Merriam-Webster, but Cambridge has some great synonyms lists as well. Those are great places to discover stronger, more precise adjectives that you can start using right away instead of very and really. Okay, another one. Just often softens your message too much. So instead of saying like, I just wanted to say, or I just wanted to ask, instead say something like, I wanted to ask. Okay? It's simple. It's more confident. It's more direct. The just is kind of a way to diminish yourself, and that's not going to help you get ahead. Next one is like. Now, you may not hear this as much as I have, but it tends to become a casual speech habit. And it's okay in casual speech, but in professional English, you don't want to use it. You know, you might hear someone say something like, I was like surprised. Ooh, not good. Instead of that, just say, I was surprised. Because you're not really like, surprised. Okay? Another one. I hear this a lot. Basically, actually, literally. These are overused. And people think it makes them sound smart. But usually they don't add value. So try removing them altogether. So if it sounds fine without it, just cut it out. You know, instead of saying something like, actually, I think we should start now. Well, that sounds like you're hesitant or even defensive. So just try, let's start now. Because it's clean, clear, and to the point. Much more confident, right? Every time you remove a filler word, your sentence gets leaner and stronger. Think of it like, tightening your bow tie. It looks sharper when it's not loose. Yeah, when it's loose, it'll fall off. It's not a good thing. Okay, the next thing I want to point out, and this one is a big one, especially in business, overused business jargon. And you want to avoid it. We call these fancy corporate buzzwords. You've probably heard them in meetings. They're basically words that sound impressive, but they really mean nothing. It's true. I mean, so this is where we want to get back to simplicity. So not all these words are simple. You might have heard things like synergy, leverage, paradigm shift. And while they sound powerful because they've got multiple syllables in them, they often confuse people. So get to the point. And this is where you want to use simpler, clearer words. Synergy, work together. Leverage, just say use. Or paradigm shift. Oh my gosh, I hate that one. Just say New approach. Let's try a new approach, because clarity beats complexity every time. Now, another one that I really don't like is, I know, and you know I love idioms, but touch base. Let's touch base. Well, instead of let's touch base, try let's talk or let's connect, because it sounds more natural and a little less robotic, or less obnoxious, really. Hey, let's touch base. All right, the next one is, this one, another annoying one for me. Bandwidth. Have you heard this one before? Oh, somebody might say, I just don't have the bandwidth. What are you, a modem? Are you a computer? Come on. You're not a robot. So just say, hey, look, I don't have time right now, or my schedule is full. Okay? It's plain language, and it makes you sound like a human, right? You're not a modem. You're not a computer, right? And this one, I love this one. Circle back. Circle back. That's another idiom, and it means to turn around. Or, well, yeah, but it doesn't really mean much. So instead of that, just say, hey, we'll revisit this, or we'll talk again soon, or we'll talk about it later. That's much more polite, it's much more direct, and it's not jargony. Because, let's face it, jargon doesn't really make you sound professional, it makes you sound distant. Real professionals speak with clarity. That's what we want. We're aiming for clarity. Now the next one here is another big one. We're going to get rid of some weak words. Words that weaken your message. They're not wrong, but they make your English sound flat. So let's start with good or nice. Instead of good or nice, try effective, insightful, or thoughtful. You know, instead of saying, that's a nice idea, that's a thoughtful idea. Oh, that's a thoughtful idea. You're being more specific. Next one, bad. Well, bad is fine, but be more specific. You can replace that with ineffective or poor or unhelpful, because using bad is really unhelpful, right? That was a bad decision. Well, be more specific. It was an unhelpful decision. It was an ineffective decision. Notice these words don't mean bad. They mean a specific thing. Next one, thing or stuff. Replace that with the actual word. Thing, well, what is it? The project, the report, the tool, the data. The more specific you are, the more confident you sound. The next one, big or small. Okay, I mean, there's nothing wrong with these words, but for big you might say significant or crucial or essential. For small you might say minor, like it's a minor improvement. A big issue is a significant issue, right? The last one I've got is get. Oh, I don't get it. So to get means to what? You receive something, yeah, but sometimes you gain or earn or obtain, you know. So gain some experience instead of getting experience. So you see how easy those little swaps makes your English sound sharper. It's not about having a fancy vocabulary, it's about being precise. You don't need big words. You just need the right words, okay? All right. Oh, we got to move along. We got to quickly move it on. Okay, so now where do you find those right words? It's easier than you think. The best way to grow your vocabulary isn't by memorizing lists of words. It's by exposure. So read articles or short news pieces every day and notice how professionals describe ideas. Then write down one or two new words that sound powerful or precise, and then challenge yourself to use them in an email or write it in a journal or even have a quick chat with a colleague. But here's a secret. Don't just read the words, speak them out loud. Saying the words helps your mouth and your brain remember how they feel in real conversation. And be sure to practice them in context. Use them in real sentences or short dialogues about your day. So this helps your brain link the meaning, the sound, and the situation together. That makes those new words easier to recall when you actually need them. And then over time, you'll naturally reach for better and more confident words without even thinking about it. All right, speaking is the key. All right, I think we're out of time, so we're not gonna be able to do the mini little quiz here. So I'm going to just skip through that. Sorry, we're running so low. But I want to remind you, don't worry about sounding perfect or anything like that. You want to aim for being intentional. The goal isn't to delete simple words forever. It's to upgrade your language when it matters most. Because every strong word you add and learn polishes your English to that high shine. You're not just speaking, you're expressing yourself with purpose. So, what's one word that you overuse in English, and then what would you replace it with? Drop it down in the chat or in the comments, and if we get any, we might do a few live at the end. All right? All right, here's your challenge for today. Choose 3 weak words that you use often and then replace them for the next 7 days. Keep a little list and notice how people respond to you. And if you found this lesson helpful, or if you want more information, check out the full blog or for more examples and explanations. There's a link in the chat and the description. And if you're serious about mastering confident professional English, join the Mastery course. It's my complete system for sounding natural, clear, and persuasive in every conversation, and it's only 10 minutes a day. So, links are in the description for both of those. And hey, don't forget, like, subscribe, and share this episode with anyone who's ready to upgrade their English too. And now it's time for that Mastery Minute, and let's try to do it in a minute. Today's idiom is, well, I'll tell you in a second. Here's a question for you. Can silence actually say something? Surprisingly, yes. Yes, it can. When someone or something speaks volumes, it means it reveals a lot without needing many words. Wow. The phrase speaks volumes actually goes back to the 1700s when volume meant a book or a long piece of writing, but not just any old book. A volume was one book in a larger collection, like a series of works or an encyclopedia. So when people said something spoke volumes, they meant that it revealed as much as an entire library of books, saying far more than words ever could. Pretty good, right? So for example, when your coworker stays late to help you finish a project, that action speaks volumes about their character. No words, but their actions. Or when you carefully choose strong, clear words instead of weak ones, your professionalism speaks volumes before you even realize it. So next time you're speaking English, remember, your word choice, your tone, even your silence can speak volumes. And that's all the time we have for today. We did this in about 19 minutes. Tonight we looked at words that make your English sound weak and how to replace them with stronger, more expressive ones. Next time, on Friday, we're uncovering how to speak fluently without overthinking. You know, the small mindset shifts that help your English flow naturally and sound effortless. So we'll talk about how to quiet your inner critic, focus on rhythm and connection, and speak with confidence even when you're unsure. And with that, I'm just going to say, I'm Dennis Wilborn, and this has been 20-Minute Mastery. I'll see you next time.